We can do it. Do it.
See me, I'm sitting low on 4G When you see me, I'm getting dope on 4G on 4G on 4G
Audio Podcast.
All right.
What's going down, everybody? I forgot to mention last time was the weekend of St. Paddy's Day, so I hope everybody had a safe and happy St. Paddy's Day. But right now we're here for the both the death and the second birth of Jesus Christ. I'm
That's
just here for
right.
the candy, man. Any
us all pray.
motherfucking way. I'm Stylez the Prophet, baby.
I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
Together with the Basement Weirdos, this is the 4G Audio Podcast.
Yeah, baby.
Your grandma's favorite podcast. Bitch. Anyways. We're only seconds in. I'm already swearing. I love you all. But yeah, hopefully everybody had fun. St. Paddy's Day, did you guys do anything? It was a Sunday.
I didn't. Did you?
No, I
No?
slept almost right through it.
Yeah.
But I did.
I know it's the day of your people, so.
Yeah. And I felt bad. Yeah. So I had a little glass of vodka there before I went to bed, just to
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
have a fucking I don't know what you call it, pay homage, I guess.
That's it. Yeah.
It's actually. Do you know the story of
I don't think I
St.
do,
Patrick?
actually.
So I believe, and the worst part is that I looked this up a long time ago, and then I would tell people, and they go, "Oh, I think it's this or that,"
Yeah.
or they would like modify it. And I just looked it up the other day, and I'm starting to forget exactly. But so what it was the first time I read it? It says that he was like a priest or a bishop or something, or like whatever, and it said that he was known for driving the snakes out of Ireland.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
It's like the Pied Piper.
I guess, yeah, but the thing is like I went on thinking like they meant like snakes, like the animal,
Right.
you know? Because then like I heard other people say like, yeah, but like they're like, I guess snakes wouldn't be able to live there or something, or I don't know. Like there's a
Okay.
bunch of people saying different things, right? But then
Right.
like I said something to somebody very smarter than me, or they're just able to remember better than I am. But they said that the snakes were actually like a metaphor or whatever for the Protestants, I think.
Right.
Or it might, I forget, it could be backwards.
Is
But I think
it-
it's it's something to do with religion anyways.
Right. They were
Yeah, I guess it
split
couldn't
north
be the,
and
yeah,
and
I guess it
south,
couldn't be
right?
the Catholics because the Catholics are still there strong. I guess so were the Protestants too. Maybe it was the British. I don't know. No. But yeah, and the weird thing is, like I said, I literally just fucking read it too the other day. But the other thing is I actually watched a guy like go to this certain place and like tell the story.
Yeah.
And like I guess there's like a cliff, right? And then like out from that cliff, like a good piece is just like it's just like a pedestal, basically. And there's like land on top of it, or not land, like grass and stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be moss if it was a big rock. But anyways, so it goes up like this, but it's out away from the land. And they say that he like pushed all the snakes to that piece of land, and then it like broke off, or he like pushed it away, or like whatever.
Yeah.
So in that story they were saying it was like actually snakes or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know. So really I feel like I went into that like I knew, but now that I say all these other things,
Yeah.
Something to look into.
now it's a big
Yeah.
check yourself. But no, it has something to do with that. And maybe
Right.
and even maybe the person that I mentioned in front of, just that's how they took it, was the Protestants or something. But I
Right,
guess
right.
like it was supposed to be some kind of analogy or metaphor or whatever.
Well, I believe like the saying goes, what is it? Keep the grass short, or to see the snakes in
Oh,
the
it's
grass,
true,
or
yeah.
whatever, right?
Another thing too is Easter. So this I literally just looked up earlier today.
Yeah.
So because we were wondering where the like Easter eggs and all that and the bunny and stuff come from.
Yeah.
And so I read somewhere that it said Queen Victoria, I guess when she was a kid, her mother used to do like these egg hunts. And for some reason, the funny thing
Okay.
is in the story, it's like her German mother.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, she used to do these egg hunts or whatever. So she like really liked it. And I
They were
guess like
German.
she, yeah. But I guess she said that they did this or whatever, right? But they're saying that like Queen Victoria, I guess, like made it popular or whatever all
Right.
throughout like England and shit or wherever.
Yeah.
And so then like, well, I was talking to Bully about it actually.
Shout out, Bully.
Yeah, big shout out. But
Yeah.
but so then he's like, but like, where did her mom get it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
where did that
like,
come
where did
from?
it
You know?
start? Yeah.
So like I Google further and it's talking about how I think they said the Lutheran Germans
Okay.
used to do it, and then it was like spread through. Basically, they just named like 2 or 3 other religions. They said
Okay.
they said through Europe, but then they also said like the Catholics and the these people and
Yeah,
these people all
right,
like
yeah.
adopted it or whatever. And I was like, sounds like religion.
Yeah.
Like, sounds like they want the monies.
Yeah. Sounds like the Western world stole it just to make some money.
yeah. But yeah, and then what was the other thing? We looked up the bunny too, and I did get something, but I forget what it was, and I don't think it was like information to hold on to. Like
Yeah. It's got to do something with spring, maybe. Like
yeah, maybe, and it makes sense though.
right.
Shit.
But yeah, I forget. I honestly feel like the answer was like I was just like, yeah, I don't think that's true, or like
Right.
or that's not even like worth the information. It's like this person liked bunnies, It's like,
Yeah,
and Queen Victoria also liked bunnies. You
Yeah.
know? Like I guess it would be good if I had the information, but I feel like I discarded it because it was like,
right.
yeah, whatever.
Can we look it up?
Oh, I guess we
Where,
could.
where
yeah.
did the history of, or like where
And
did
the
Easter
eggs,
come from?
The bunny and the eggs? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, right. Like
Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark.
yeah.
13th century Easter eggs are an ancient
I got
symbol
17th
of new
century.
life and spring. This is literally, I just typed in
No.
history of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
They are also said to represent Jesus' resurrection. Tradition decorating eggs for Easter dates back to at least the 13th century. Practice of hunting and gifting eggs to children originated in Germany in the 17th century. So there
Oh,
you go.
okay,
there you go.
okay.
There you go.
The eggs
He's
were-
not wrong. He's not
Well,
wrong.
I was like, you said it somewhere.
The
Right?
eggs were stained red to symbolize the blood of Christ.
Oh my god.
Artificial eggs containing toys and treats became popular in Victorian England. So yeah, that must have been like what you said about the Queen just giving like gifts
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
started way back in the 17th century.
Oh,
which is
Victorian England because Queen Victoria or what?
like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I just found that out. 8 years old, man.
There you go. The more you know. Interesting.
Crazy. So who would Queen Victoria be? Like the old Queen's mom?
That's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Germans.
sure.
Isn't that weird though? They're German and they.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people don't know that though because
Yeah.
they changed their name. They go by the Windsors now, which
Yeah.
is a very British sounding name.
Right. Right.
Um,
And well,
It's
I guess
weird.
they're females, so they're marrying men with different names, right?
Well, yeah, but it's still the mother of Queen Victoria, and then Queen Victoria is the mother of Queen.
Oh yeah, of course. So
Uh,
the last name stays.
So it's not even that it stays the same. It's that they're German still. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, they would change their name. But are they not? No, I guess it would be the king. That's right. I don't even know how the fuck that works. Anyways.
Yeah, it would.
But that's my point too, though. Is how do they become fucking queen over there when they're German? Does that mean they took over? They fought them.
I don't know. Actually,
Yeah,
we're doing like
yeah.
we're
Like where were
doing
you
like a
during the
history
war?
lesson,
No,
yeah.
they were there.
Jonesy, can you Google that? Yeah. And then what happened after that? When
Yeah. See, this is how you go down the hole. Right
When is
here,
the happy
yeah.
ending?
Yeah.
King Charles has German ancestry. The English royal family has deep ties. In 1714, George Louis, first king of German origin to succeed to the English crown.
Hmm.
Yeah, so maybe it was just like somewhere along the line, some German king somehow got the king of England, or became the king of England.
Crazy.
Would have
Because they-
came through marriage, no?
Took over.
Or
Yeah.
or war, I guess, or something.
Maybe I'm wrong about that though, but
They're gonna
Who
leave
knows?
that part out.
Yeah, find that out. Find that out another
Yeah.
time. Shit. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Since we have your attention, everybody, we did announce this very briefly before, but now we are getting down to the details. So we have Cypher going on. We got a beat up on YouTube. The link will be in our link tree, possibly in the bio or the
Indeed.
description or whatever. But we just want you to write and record. I don't know, just 16.
yeah.
Yeah. Just write and record a 16 over that beat. And I believe we don't have a deadline yet. They're just
No.
gonna until we get enough that we want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And spit your best bars, and we're gonna do a video with everybody in the end. We're gonna put it all together and try and get a video of everyone
yeah,
spitting their shit into the microphone for us.
it's gonna be dope. Location is to be determined, but it's gonna be somewhere pretty dope.
Fucking
We're
right.
hoping. For sure.
And if you have any suggestions, we're open to suggestions as well. But yeah, like I said, you can just hit us in the. You can just send it to our email, I guess. And the beat is on YouTube under our YouTube 4G Audio Podcast.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then I'm super fucking shocked because you already see it on the wall. But
and if you're watching us right now, you're super close. You just maybe like hit the 4G tab on your screen, and you'll see it.
oh yeah, and then actually we're looking forward to seeing all these everybody's parts.
Yeah,
I actually
man,
have a
for
couple
sure.
people that have already reached out to me and asked me for the information and are started on their stuff.
Nice.
So I'm telling you right now, pull up your socks. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, baby, let's go. City Cypher.
Ow! What's
But
going on? Oh, here we go.
oh yeah,
Did you know?
we got Bully in the chat. What's up,
Shout
Bully?
out, big gang. So yeah, our guest hasn't showed up yet.
Yeah, still waiting.
There's a pretty good chance, if I know how I know things, pretty good chance he's not coming. I messaged Lil Windex earlier though, if that helps.
Oh yeah?
He's coming to Ottawa in June,
No way.
and I figured if he was down to do it before, he'd be down to do it again.
Yeah, man.
He
That's
did
sick.
invite me to his house,
Yeah.
so I figured like,
Yo, that's sick, man. Is he like on tour?
yeah, it's DTG, Lil Windex, and Kripel.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Shit, yeah, man.
That's
but-
dope. Lil Windex is back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I was just telling someone about him the other day, and I was
Yeah.
saying how he like really fucking blew up,
Yeah.
and like he was doing like some tours in the States and stuff like that. Like he was actually like, people love that guy.
Yeah, man. For sure. Is he? Do you know if he's from BC or is he from the States?
I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah, okay.
I just want to assume he's from that area, like BC.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Never asked, but the other thing, now that I think about it, actually, he could actually be from Alberta because I remember before he was doing a bunch of videos like a long time ago. Like
Oh yeah.
the Ford truck one, and like walking around talking to people in Canada and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
when you walk by people and it's like you're still having a conversation when they're walking away. Like, "Ah,"
Right. Yeah.
like holding the door for people and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Saying sorry all
I
the time.
almost want to say back then he was in like Calgary or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like from there, because that was all a long time ago, like
Yeah.
super long time ago. But yeah, he's doing a pretty big tour. It's called the Sauce Tour, I think.
Yeah. That's sick. So I guess he's got new music coming then.
Must be. I thought
It's
he was.
been a minute, I think.
Well, yeah, and I thought he was done with it. I thought he was like. I
Yeah.
thought he even made an announcement where he was like saying he wasn't doing that.
You know what, man? He did that movie
Oh,
and
that's
probably
right.
just got inspired or something to
True
get
that.
back out there. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a. It's like a spoof movie.
Yeah. With about hip hop.
Yeah.
Man, I
He plays
forget.
Eminem.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's like that's huge for him. You know, his hard work paid off with that content.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he posted something the other day, and it was like, he posted it, but then he like made a story about it or something. And he's like, yeah, he's like, new post or new content or whatever. And he's like, sorry, it's, he was saying, first of all, he said, he's like, and it's not an Eminem one. And then he was like, but sorry, he's like, it's a little long, or like,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like getting used to it or getting back in the groove or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing skits for a minute for sure. I remember I forget who it was. It was the
Sedative Native.
yeah, that's the dude, man. Yeah. I was really like I was really trying to find a way to like describe without being offensive or whatever, but that's him.
Well, that's his
And
actual name on
and
Instagram, by the way.
Exactly, yeah, and he was super funny, man.
Yeah,
made some
actually, you know what's funny
funny
is that I said the holding the door for people,
Yeah.
and I just skipped over it because I was like, oh, actually, that was a newer one, and it had that guy in it.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
funny thing is, I
right.
hadn't thought of that guy in a long time,
Yeah.
and I just thought of him whenever I was saying that, and I was like, oh, I won't stop the conversation and be like, nah, that was a,
Yeah.
and then you bring him up. Well, you didn't even bring him up. You were like, oh, what? And that's why I guessed
And it
that, because I'm like,
clicked,
you know
yeah,
what,
you're
man?
already
I'm like,
thinking
this
of him.
thing.
Yeah. That's sick. Yeah, shout out to those guys, man.
You're right. I'd also like to shout out the Second Spliff podcast.
Yeah, man.
Go check them out on YouTube and other things as well. They do a very similar thing to what we're doing, and we have a collab or some kind of thing coming up in the future in the summer. And they're gonna do us, and we're gonna do them, and
Real good, man.
we're
Yeah,
gonna do,
that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Used it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna try and maybe make some content and show them around the city and stuff as well that weekend. So this is my point to shout them out, get familiar with them,
Yeah,
go check them out. Yeah, and like I said, I guess I said that all backwards. Check them out and get familiar with them.
They travel a fair bit with the pod, don't they?
Yeah, they were in the States and shit too.
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah, they do some pretty big shit. The one guy actually like films stuff.
Yeah, he's
I see like
videographer.
I don't know. I think a whole bunch of stuff, but I think like skateboarding, mainly.
Sick.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's somebody
They
else.
seem like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And the one guy tattoos. I may be talking about the same guy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. All things a part of the culture.
But yeah, no, they seem like good lads.
Yeah.
For sure. I've checked out a few of their episodes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
As soon as you check them out, you know that we would all vibe well together. You know?
Yeah, no, I've been talking to them on and off and shit.
Yeah.
More so the one guy, Logan, with the glasses there. Me and him talk here and there, whatever. Like, it's like we have this like text conversation that's like, he might not answer until like Monday.
Yeah,
And then
right.
I might not answer till Thursday, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like, because it's all just, it's like nothing crazy. But, but no, we're stoked for that.
Keeping
I
in
think it's
touch.
July 19th, actually, if I had to guess. Well, actually, I know exactly it's July 19th because I know that day too well. But anyways, that's besides the point. But yeah, no, it's sick because they said they've never been to Ottawa either too. So I'm like, cool, we can probably show you some stuff here. You know, like,
they're from Windsor.
Windsor,
Yeah, I was thinking Sudbury as well, but yeah, Windsor. Shit, man,
Sudbury's
that's
up north.
up north. That's right. Windsor's a fair piece away.
I drove there once, man, in a 26-foot box truck.
Oh yeah.
And I went through
For the fashion show.
Yeah, I went through traffic twice in Toronto, and forget what it said. If you just look up, but like from Ottawa to Windsor or whatever, and then just take how long it says it's gonna take, and then add 2.5 hours on.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we did because both times in traffic, and like you think like it's bad here sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there's more lanes, and I'm stopped for 20 minutes.
That's
like I'm not even like
crazy,
crawled forward. Like I'm like stopped for 20 minutes. It's like okay, go like. 100 yards up and then stop again. It's like, oh man. But once you get through, you're just like, okay, see you later. Yeah.
Right.
But we hit that at Toronto, and then like a little further past Toronto, hit it again, and just sitting there in this big truck. And like I think it takes like 11 hours maybe, or maybe it took us 11 hours. But it's something like that. So it's not like a 4-hour drive, and they added an hour on. It's like, oh man, like
Well, man, I think it takes like 10.
Yeah, I worked all night. Sorry.
Like 10 to 15 hours to drive to Thunder Bay. Somewhere in there, maybe. I might be like a little high with 15, but I know it's a far drive.
But that's up north too, is it not?
Well,
that's on the way out.
It's on the way out.
Okay,
Windsor's kind of curled down south past Toronto, like towards
it's like London and Sarnia.
Yeah,
and like,
right.
Because we went from there to Sarnia, or there from there to London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of driving.
I know London's 8 hours away.
Yeah.
So.
You ever been to Kincardine?
Kincardine?
It's like it's pretty far away too, but it's like this little town. Like I walked around this town going, man, like I bet you if we wait around till night, someone's gonna get murdered. Like, but like it looks like it takes place, like a horror movie takes place there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I swear though, like most horror movies have like a dock and boats and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like there's like the guy that runs the marina or whatever, you know? Like it's like totally like that's what it was, and it was so small. Like I walked outside, and I was going to get like another rack of clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
And like while I'm outside, there's people literally like I swear to God, it's like the background sounds of a movie where it's like, oh hey Carol, like oh hey, like hey, and like yelling at the people across the street and stuff, and I'm like, man, like I swear to God, like I'm in a fucking movie.
Yeah.
But it's really nice, sir.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I guess like a whole fashion show would almost be like being on a set of a.
But for us, it was more like we basically set up like a store.
Oh yeah.
So like we'd have all the racks, and then like we have a thing over it to like keep everything good, you know, clean and shit. And then you just take it off, you like kind of fluff up the racks and shit, put them all out, and then you what they call a story. You create a story.
Okay. Yeah.
So So with the colors, so like you have certain colors in certain areas. So this is like
Yeah.
your like red and orange story.
Right.
And then like this story over here. So like I remember my
Yeah.
boss would always say that stuff and I'm like, okay. Like I
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
you want the colors like this and you want this and like whatever. Oh.
Yeah, where'd the Kraken end up? Sorry, I didn't want to
Okay.
interrupt
Oh.
your.
So it's like I get that. Okay, I see you want the colors, but it's like story. Like what the fuck? But
Yeah.
then these old ladies would come in and they go, "Oh yeah, I love this story," and like,
Oh,
I'm like,
it's
oh my god,
it's lingo for
yeah.
the yeah.
But what they would do is they would buy. So they would come in and we'd have like a conference room or like we have showrooms, one in Toronto, one in Ottawa here,
right.
or we did. I guess they might still be there. I just don't work there.
Yeah.
But so then yeah, all these people would come to us because they want to buy our shit.
Right.
And they'd come and look at it all and go, okay, I want this, and they'd put it all onto this like the showcase rack or whatever.
Okay.
So then at the end, I usually was the Vanna White, so I'd go and like hold it and like show them,
Oh,
and they'd be
okay.
like, oh yes, okay, that comes in a black too, right? And like
Right.
yeah, it does, yeah. And they're like, okay, yeah, well, can I have this? And like, oh, can you tell me what the material is? And I have to look at the swatch and like, oh, it's this, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, okay, yeah, well, actually, I don't want that one. I want the rayon one. Or
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know, whatever.
right.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's this one. And then this one only comes in black. Like, well, I want 2 small and 3, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whatever. So we were like stocking their
Crazy.
things. I filled an order one time for 47 grand. Yeah, man. I was just
Wild.
like, what? I was like adding it all up. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's crazy. But
It's,
yeah.
it's obviously like quality
Oh, yeah, yeah.
clothing or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Was it like your boss's brand?
No, she was like, basically, she was like, what do you call it? Kind of like a broker, sort of.
Right.
So so it's almost like, now that I think about it, it's almost like drugs, you know, it's like there's territories and stuff.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
like, so there was like a company called Zeress that was denim from Germany,
Okay.
and it was actually really cool. The denim had like patterns in it and shit.
Yeah.
Very slimming for the women, of course. It's great. Looks great, feels great. I've been told they're comfy as hell. But anyways,
He still has it in him.
yeah. Actually, she's wearing a pair right now, and because the one girl actually wore them all the time.
Yeah.
But she would just put them on for when we would show people shit.
Right.
So
yeah.
like, but anyway, short
See it
story
in
long is
action.
like with them, we could sell those. I'm pretty sure we could sell those anywhere in Ontario.
Okay.
But then like with, I think it was called Spanner. They sold that on the. It's coming to me. I'll say it, and you guys will know it. The
Yeah.
shopping channel.
Okay.
They sold it on the shopping channel as well. And when I say that one was split like I think east and west, or north and south
Okay.
Ontario.
Right.
So then like these companies would be like, oh, like, okay, you can sell here.
Right.
But like she told me like she used to drive around like in a Sprinter van, like she had like, and it was like she said it was all modified, like it was all pimped out,
Yeah.
crazy leather and all this stuff
Yeah,
and whatever. And like she used to have like $1 million years and stuff. And like I was
Crazy,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, like yeah. And it shows she has a crazy house and like
Yeah.
cars and stuff. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is yeah, so it was just like, yeah, it was, she had, so like it wasn't her originally. Whenever I like got the job, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But she was yeah, basically like a broker, like or like
Right.
Distributor.
Yeah.
guess it would be,
right.
yeah.
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 Like
And
she. Yeah.
we got everything for like the low. Like if
Right.
I mean, it was girls' clothes, but if they had guys' clothes and I wanted a piece, I'd just like, okay, give it to me.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, cool, you get this $120 piece for, you know, $35 or
Right,
some shit,
yeah.
you know. Some of the markup is crazy on this stuff too, man.
Oh, I bet.
You see like a normal t-shirt and it's like, hey, maybe not that much or whatever. It's like, you know, they paid $17.50 for it and it's like sold for $32 or something, right? It's
Right.
like pretty close to double, but like still. Then there's other things where
for
it's
a
like,
t-shirt.
it's
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
know.
this thing. It's like, well, they're paying like $85 for it. But they're selling for $720.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, what the
Wild,
fuck?
yeah.
There was actually this cool leather jacket. It had like flower patterns all on it, but the flower patterns were like cut out of it. And then like, but the holes are all like sewed and like
Right. Yeah.
taken care of
okay.
so it wouldn't all like rip apart and shit. But it
Yeah.
was like, if you held it up, it just looked like fishnet. Like it was all like this.
Right.
But that thing was like $900 and some dollars. But even too,
Crazy.
it was like 400 maybe or like 300 and something. And it was like sell it for 900, you know?
Yeah. Right.
It's like, holy shit.
Just because, like, I don't know.
Women.
I'll
They
be.
gotta
Yeah.
make the money,
Yeah.
and it's whatever they're willing to pay
Yeah.
for it, right? Like,
And
Yeah.
it looked well. I guess something like that would look pretty custom. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, and even too, like some things it'd be like the same company, One is, like I said, a $17 t-shirt that sells for $30. The other one is a fucking, $80 thing sells for $700 or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's not even that it's like, oh, well, that's the like Louis one or whatever. It's
Right.
like, no, it's the same one as that one.
Yeah,
Like,
just
of
here
course,
it
it's
went.
leather and all this and cool, but it's like, hey, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
it's all part of the game.
yeah, but no, it was
Crazy.
actually pretty cool. And but to do with Kincardine though too, they had like crazy big beach and shit, and like it
Okay.
was fucking really nice.
I feel like I've heard of Kincardine, but I also know I had a good buddy that worked in Kincaid, Saskatchewan,
Okay,
but he broke down somewhere, and I think it was Kincardine.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Is that more like on your way out of Ontario, or is that down towards Windsor
it's
and all
like
that?
kind
I guess, eh?
of down, yeah.
Right.
It's like I think we went to Windsor and then we went to London or vice versa maybe, and then we like drove up. So we were kind of heading, yeah,
Oh, okay.
maybe almost like not close to Barrie, but towards Barrie from Windsor, I think.
Right.
It's on one of the lakes though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I found out too the other day is speaking of lakes or whatever is
Yeah.
Wasaga Beach is the longest stretch of freshwater beach in the world.
No way.
Yeah. I always knew it was a big beach and stuff. I've never seen it, but I always heard it was big. Someone said that the other day. They just said it's the longest stretch of beach. And I was like, wait.
In the
I was like, no way. And they're like, well, it's the longest stretch of freshwater beach.
freshwater, right?
Yeah.
Wasaga is in Ontario.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like right
It's
near
near Barrie.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasaga Beach. So what about have you ever heard of the Sandbanks?
Sandbanks.
Picton Sandbanks?
No.
No? Man, that beach is like almost as far as the eye could see. But maybe that's not fresh water, I guess.
Where's
I-
Picton? Maybe though. It
I
would
think
have to be.
I think Picton's like that beach is actually on Lake Ontario, actually.
Okay, yeah. Fresh water, man. But you know what's weird
Yeah.
is the St. Lawrence Seaway comes from the ocean, comes into the Great Lakes, I believe. And it's, you know what I mean? It's salt water, but then it comes into the,
The St. Lawrence?
St. Lawrence Seaway or whatever. See,
I'm
this,
not familiar.
I
Oh.
think it comes from Hudson Bay, no?
no, Hudson
No?
Bay is up. This comes from the St. Lawrence Seaway. It's like, comes from like the east, comes in. And then it turns into the St. Lawrence River, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
it goes into all those lakes.
Right,
And then
right,
it's
okay.
like, well, how did it? It's fresh water
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
lakes, but it's not. I don't know. Maybe it sinks to the bottom, and like,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I guess it would do that everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find
Yeah.
out one of these days.
Yeah.
man. We'll get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna become a scuba diver or whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, sir, that doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, look, I got my certificate, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I know how to scuba dive.
Gamble.
Always. Always a gamble.
Don't gamble with your life.
But so you guys hear this shit with Diddy? All that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video. I saw a couple of videos outside of his house whenever they were talking about it. Like, there's a bunch of people and stuff, cops
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I saw like this thing the other day where they're like, because they were saying, people were saying that, like in headlines and shit, that there was like buses showing up to his house with kids in the middle of the night and
yeah,
stuff.
I heard about that.
And so then I found out the other day, there's like this lady comes forward and she's like, oh, like my son was the one who said that, and like he was just saying it to like troll the world and stuff,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
And it shows him like leaving his driveway across the street from Diddy's. Like someone's driving a Bentley and he's in the
Yeah.
passenger seat.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
it,
and he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. He's like, says all this, like, yeah, he's like, you see cars coming in there,
Yeah,
vans and this and that and whatever. And
yeah.
he's like, oh, he's like, you don't want to know, and blah
yeah,
blah blah.
he's
And
like,
they,
it gets crazy.
yeah, they
here,
like
yeah.
drive away, and like, but the thing is whenever I heard that, I'm like, man. And then even in the comments, people are like, man, they're like, that lady's just trying to save her son because
Yeah.
they're like, they're gonna go after him and shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, who knows, right? Like, this kid could be actually just like, oh no, I'm scared, and like, no, I was just joking.
Yeah.
Or like this guy just told like shit that he sees, and
Yeah,
now, you know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, what the fuck?
For sure.
Like, did he pacing outside the Miami airport or whatever?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Did you see the guy?
Nervous.
Oh, there was a guy made a video. I forget how it went, but there was like, oh shit. Anyways, it was him, and it was
Like
a
his
guy.
last
It was
scene.
like a guy playing Diddy, and somebody else, another guy playing like somebody else,
Okay.
and they like go out for dinner or something, and they go on like the plane and shit, and they're like, I think they're like about to take off or something. Then he like finds out the news, and
Yeah.
then it shows him, and he's like standing on the street, and he's like walking around. Like, he's got the same outfit on. He's like
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
back and forth and like biting his nails and stuff.
Right.
And he turns around, and says, "Don't film me," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, but I don't know.
Shit. Yeah, I don't
But-
know either.
I've heard that like they might be also looking at Jay-Z.
Yeah, I did. I've seen a fair bit of
So
of
like
things.
they're
There's a
accused
lot
of
of
what?
things.
Oh, sorry, that's the
Essentially,
thing
it's
is, yeah, we
it's
never
like-
even said, yeah.
It's like child trafficking. or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
sex
sexual-
trafficking,
right.
and
Yeah.
And like, so Diddy's house actually got raided.
Yeah.
Right. And like, was that like confirmed that it was because of
no,
these sex
No,
allegations?
that's
laying
it, though,
out?
'cause-
Or did
his
it get
his
raided
sons
because
got
of some-
arrested.
So it wasn't
Okay.
even to do with him then, maybe.
Well, because now,
Um,
now it's coming out. I think were you saying this earlier? But now it's coming out that it was like that. Yeah, you said this. Yeah, he wasn't even
Yeah,
on the plane that they said he was
yeah.
on and
So
shit
there's
like that.
that.
and,
Yeah,
like,
and then his one of his sons have come out now since it happened, and basically it was like just said like stop speaking on our family's name or whatever because like nobody knows what the fuck's actually going on
Hmm.
or
Well,
something.
they said something about like another thing I heard, like totally different story was that it had to do with drugs,
Yeah,
and they think that he's like somehow smuggling drugs or like whatever.
yeah, I've seen
But
that
then
too.
I saw a thing. They showed like a mugshot of this guy and everything, and then like they arrested some guy that is like the alleged drug mule for
Yeah.
Diddy and shit.
Yeah, I've seen a photo of this guy getting arrested at the airport, and Diddy's right
So
there.
You heard about the whole thing about like,
sorry.
so Diddy was the one that like apparently orchestrated Biggie's murder.
Oh yeah, people
Because,
are
like-
saying this shit too
Right,
a lot.
Like, because he was supposed to be leaving Bad Boy, like he wanted off the record label,
Right.
and or like,
And
his-
Pac had just died about a year before this, yeah?
yeah, I think
Or
so.
it's all within the same
It's
year
pretty
after.
close,
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, apparently Big wanted off that record label and was apparently broke at the time because it's like
Diddy's
was
taking all of his
he was
money.
fucking him over, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And he was about to leave the
Yeah.
label, start going either signing with someone else or doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And obviously he didn't want that, so
You got to do what you got to do.
he's not alive
There's a
anymore.
lot of things that aren't helping his case.
It's like a lot of speculation, right? Like who knows
Yeah.
really what happened? There's a lot of things like that. Like, oh yeah, that kind of like would make sense.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
there's even a video brought out of him on the show All That. Coincidentally, the same week the Nickelodeon documentary came
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and he was a part of a skit where these two boys literally pour they're trying to wake their friend up, and they pour all this white goop all over him. And then they were like, "What would Diddy do?" Like, and then they're like, "Oh no, he's right here." So they go there, and he's like on like a beach chair, like like he's on vacation or whatever. And then he just I forget what comment he makes, but and then they're just like, you know what I mean? Because it's like all comedy skits, so they're
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
like- and it's
yeah
like-
or whatever, and it's like super weird,
Like sexual
man.
innuendo.
It's a
and, like,
huge
Yeah.
sexual innuendo, man.
That's like too. You see
And
the
there's so many-
video.
sorry, like
Yeah.
just like there's so many other people, like artists that have come out and be like, yeah, like fucking he does weird shit. Like he wants
Yeah.
to take you shopping and like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
so
feel like there's
something-
one
like,
person.
there's definitely like he's gotten too comfortable
Yeah,
with being in a position of so much power
Yeah.
and money that he can basically get away with anything. or else he's got
exactly what
security
that
and, like,
Nickelodeon documentary leads up to about Dan Snyder. Like literally, they were all said the same thing. Like he too much power, too much money, too
Right.
much everyone. Like it was like his empire or whatever, right?
Because you know, like you treat people differently when they have that, right? Like you like, oh, like you sort of like want to please them, like give them
Yeah.
anything, because like, oh, maybe he'll like give me a share.
Yeah,
or something
and
like that, you know, like-
and you were there because you want to be a part of that money, but you want to be a part of that the fame or the Holly, you know what I mean? You
the
want
types that do are
And-
easily swayed into doing
yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly. I need to
simply
do this
for the money.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So like, it definitely attracts a certain type of mentality into that sphere of people, and yeah, then like they just get away with it because the people that are quote unquote victims to it reap the benefits of social status, money,
Yeah.
a career, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
and then nobody talks about the shit that they had to do to get there.
Yeah, exactly. You know who I think has all these answers? Justin Bieber.
Yeah, and probably.
Oh yeah. I think he knows some shit. Well, he was
He went Christian too, right? Like
yeah, and he was that kid does barely smiles anymore. He doesn't perform anymore. And he was just like a little child coming into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Raised by all these Diddy,
like
Usher,
yeah, too, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking creep.
So you never know,
there's,
man.
there's so much fucking shady shenanigan shit that goes on in fucking that industry, man. That it is starting to come out, right? Like people kind of like talked about maybe like
there's
years
more
and years
leeway.
ago.
There's more leeway now. Like back then, if you talked about it, you would just wreck your reputation. It's their word against yours, and you would probably lose. But nowadays, society totally looks at that other side. You know what I mean? Like,
But
for
if you
sure.
think about it, like celebrities maybe like 30 years ago or like even 20 years ago, really, like we didn't have social media. Like not everybody had like internet and like social media in their pockets the way they do now.
Yeah.
Right. So they could do some shit right in like private parties and like after parties.
Yeah,
and, like, where
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
their close circle, right? And nobody's fucking trying to get on the gram and spread it to the world for clout.
Yeah.
Right. But now that's more of a thing. Even the close circle of these people are filming this shit.
Yeah,
because, like, so this stuff ends up like slowly creeping out and getting more into the wider sphere of society.
Public eye, yeah.
Right? And then we start to ask bigger questions and like things start to you start connecting dots in places. You're like, whoa, this person said this weird thing like fucking years ago and he knows this guy and and then this web of fucking like corruption and
well, even like
starts
these
to come.
videos coming out, like you said, with the like him on the Nickelodeon show and shit.
Yeah.
And then like I saw it's like a live with him and LeBron James.
Yeah.
And they must be Diddy's kids. I don't know, but it looks like there's like kids in the back, like not like little kids, like teenagers or something. But LeBron James is like, "Hey, no party like a Diddy party."
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah. It's like, what do you think they're referring to? Yeah.
But even then, it's just like now with that, like with the claims or whatever, the accusations, it's like, or the rumors, I guess we'll say. It's like, well, now that fucking video just happens to fit the context of the like, narrative. That's
exactly.
Like, there's even another video where Diddy is like some interview, and he's like, "There's a whole lot of fucking going on in the industry," he says, or whatever, and a whole bunch more shit. But like, that was the focal point of like the clip that I seen was like him saying that. There's a whole lot of fucking going on in the industry.
Was that with Lil Wayne?
I don't know who it was with because I just saw like that little bit. I didn't see him with another like guest celebrity. To me, I thought I saw it as one-on-one.
Right. Okay.
But again, I didn't see the whole thing.
I saw a clip with like I think it was Diddy actually talking to Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Like what would you? I forget the question he asked, but basically he says the same thing. Like like you have to do some shit. Like people will try to fuck you, basically.
Right, yeah. Just ridiculous, man. Disgusting.
It's like, again, does like now that, because that's clip is like now, like you said, fits the context of this story. So like you start to watch it with a different perspective.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, is he saying this? Or like, because before, if you would have watched that, you would have never have thought that, because that wouldn't have been in your...
I wonder how much fun they're having at these parties.
Yeah,
But there's a pool.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, man, fuck, who knows? It wouldn't surprise me if all the shit that they think is happening is happening.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, there is that, like, reasonable doubt, I guess. Like, they're rich celebrities that get away with some bullshit. Like, are they actually shipping kids around the world to have a sex trade? I don't know, maybe.
It's money, right?
It wouldn't surprise me, but like,
it wouldn't surprise me, but I also don't want to believe in it,
But maybe Diddy's just one of those guys doing something for money, though.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like earlier you were saying there's like people, like sometimes people attract people that'll just like, there's people that'll just like, they just do shit for money, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like maybe he just is one of those people, and then
Right,
he's like,
yeah,
people
yeah.
are
And
like
that's-
getting him
So
to
this
do
is
it. Now
what
he's like, I
Kanye
can't
says.
get
No,
out.
and you're right.
Yeah,
You're right, though.
right.
So this is what Kanye says, right? Though, is that like absolutely that is that he's sort of sold his soul to get to the position that he's even at, and just did what he did for money.
Yeah.
And now he's also in the position to do that to people now lower than he is.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know when this happened, but I saw a video of Kanye saying that fucking like he claims Adidas like froze his bank accounts
did,
or something
yeah.
like
Yeah, I've
that.
seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going through a whole like crazy shit.
Well, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think he's fucking smarter than a lot of people give him credit
he-
for.
No, well, but see, the thing is that one time on the show too, I was saying the same thing about him burning the house on the stage. I'm like, I think in the future people are gonna be like, what a genius, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I do see it that way too, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, no, shut up. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Fuck, people are just like, there was like
Yeah.
a couple people I know that started to like you again, you know? Or we forgot about the other thing you said, you know? Like, or like I was
Yeah.
listening to that album again and I forgot about the stuff you said. So just no, stop. But at the same time, like you said, like,
It's a lot of what he says is like,
well, he's saying a lot of the same shit that along the same stuff of what we're talking about too, right? Like,
yeah.
and a lot of it's like clippable stuff that can be easily taken out of context,
yeah.
right? That like if you actually like,
I feel like if there was no like, you know what I mean? Like, look at how crazy a lot of people have gotten, like Kanye or even like actors or whatever, like the child stars we were talking about. It's like if it wasn't corrupt, do you think these people would be where they're at now? Like Kanye, do you think Kanye would have gotten so just like
that's the thing, right? They're
crazy
saying-
and like
they're saying
talking
the
out
shit they're
against
saying
a
for
lot of
fucking
shit?
reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
like if it was just one person in a million, you know, saying this kind of stuff, you'd be like, okay, right, sure. And that's maybe how it was seen 20, 30 years ago,
Right.
right? There's a select few people talking about this kind of stuff.
It was even like the Corys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Oh
or
yeah,
Haim,
yeah,
whatever.
man. Yeah.
They like were
Right.
coming out about a bunch of shit and like,
and it
fucking-
sounds insane. Even Macaulay Culkin,
Oh
right?
yeah,
like
yeah.
he talked about a lot of crazy shit about like if you ever heard about the red shoe,
the
Yeah.
shoes, man. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
skin. Yeah, yeah,
that
man.
shit fucking like.
apparently
So it's like
DiCaprio said some shit about that too. Like he was like, have you ever seen a pair of shoes made out of human skin?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, no, he's like, they're beautiful or something like
Right,
that. Or
yeah.
like, it's
A
just
lot
the
of
nicest
people-
leather or something.
yeah.
Or like,
I've seen his name kind of come up since Diddy has been taking a lot of heat. A lot of people have been kind of like reading comments and stuff. Like I've seen DiCaprio's name being brought up and shit.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
he strikes me as like, and I mean, he's got that reputation too of being like sort of a
he's kind of got a bad
Playboy, sex,
reputation, man.
you know,
yeah.
like he's getting older and well, I don't know how old he is now. He's almost in his. He's got to be in his 50s, late
Who's this?
40s.
DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I don't think he's that much older than
I'll,
us.
I'll figure it out.
He's got to be in his 40s.
Oh yeah, for sure. But again, like he's been acting since like a young kid.
A kid, right? For sure. And that's what I'm saying, right? He's
74, so he's 50 this year.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Holy shit.
but he's still dating fucking like
19-year-olds.
yeah,
Yeah.
1920s, you know, like,
Consistently
11, 20s,
too. Yeah.
right? So like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's the kind of person being like, "Oh, I wonder who's the selection on Epstein's island." This
Yeah,
week."
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Shit.
sure, man.
But even too, like there was people coming out saying, like people like child actors' parents saying that like the like they'd have parties and stuff like that, like the higher ups or whatever, or like the I don't know,
Yeah.
but they would have like rap parties or some shit, right?
Right.
So they'd like invite the kid, and they'd be like, but like they'd make the parents like come and drop them off at the door and like leave them
Yeah, right.
and shit
right.
like that, like.
Yeah. The Nickelodeon kids, like their contracts actually required their parents to be there on set
Oh
with
yeah.
them. And some of the parents are interviewed and a lot of them
A lot of the parents see it as a meal ticket, man. If their kid is like,
yeah.
you know, like
yeah.
they're fucking all for it too.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot
and
of the time.
yeah, and then they like a couple of them spoke out in a way of like they kind of noticed some behavior, but they felt like they didn't want to like complain and wreck their child's shot. You know what I mean?
Or their shot. See, that's
well,
the thing, right?
one
That's
of them
what they'll
that
say
one
now.
of them that
But then
was
at the time they're like, if I fuck this up, like,
yeah
you know, there goes that mansion.
yeah
Yeah.
for sure. There was the one kid got fired because of his mom, like she just talked so stern about it. She's like, I knew from like day one or whatever. She's like, I gave it a lot of patience, and then she's like, basically like I forget what happened or whatever, but like, you know,
It's probably the best thing she ever did, though, right? Like,
oh yeah for
might have
sure.
lost- or the kid might not realize it, but
No, he did. He was on the he was on the interview as well or whatever, and he did a skit of like he was the youngest rapper ever, and so he was a fetus, and so they put him in like this tight suit. You can see it bulging. You know what I mean? Like tight like suit and stuff, and it was like a part of every episode for a couple of years. You know what I mean or whatever. Yeah. So it's just like making them do uncomfortable things, right? And yeah. I watched I watched some of this shit. Like I definitely watched all that. You know, because there was always a live performance at the end of it, just like SNL.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what the idea of all that was. It was like from the 80s too, if I'm not mistaken, or early 90s with what is their names, like Keenan and Thompson.
Keenan and Cal, man,
Yeah,
I fucking
yeah,
loved.
yeah.
That was my shit. when I
Yeah,
was
they were
younger.
hilarious, man. You know, and
They did Good Burger movie.
yeah, the Good Burger
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, those guys. They were like the OGs on all that, and then they brought it back in like late 90s, early 2000s with Amanda Bynes and like
Okay.
New Crew, and that's like where it got weird. Yeah.
That's when
Anyways,
shit got weird.
I brought that like way off topic there, but all the same shit. You know, the industry seems like it's pretty messed up.
Indeed.
I still want to see the list, man.
Yeah.
The list.
FC9 then.
Oh right.
They did.
I mean,
put, they
isn't
put it
out
out
there.
They
yeah,
did.
It's out there. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
but is it actually the list though?
I don't
Oh, who
believe
knows?
it, man.
Because they put it out a long time ago, and then everyone's like, "No, it's not it." And then like not long ago, they were like, "Okay, yeah, the courts finally released it. And, like here it is."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Is it though? Like we need. I want to like."
Isn't it interesting though, like how easily like public opinion is like swayed and people like forget about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll just like distract you with this new thing that's over here, and we'll
Yeah,
all
yeah.
forget about this thing that's going on over here.
It's because we as human beings are pretty selfish, you know what I mean? And so everyone's thinking of themselves. They don't when they're fed this that benefits them, most people take it.
Yeah.
And don't care about anything else. And then just the people that have taken the red pill don't fall for that shit.
What's the red pill?
It's like the Matrix where you wake up.
No, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I just never can remember which one's which.
Right, yeah.
So that's
no.
the one where you just wake up and everything's back to normal.
No,
That's the blue is going back
The
into the
red pill is like
Matrix.
waking up.
And red pill is like you wake up and you see the truth.
The truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it, man. That's what it's like. That the analogy is a good one because like that's what it's like for a lot of people when
Yeah.
when you see this shit. Because like it can't all be coincidence, can it? Like there's
No.
so many people at this point talking about this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
if it's like the pedophile rings in the high up fucking
Now it's-
government and like sex trafficking in
Maybe it's a type
Hollywood.
of paranoid
and, like-
schizophrenia, man. It's
It's a psychosis.
pedophilia, fucking. No, I'm just.
Yeah.
But even you see. Oh, sorry, man. I totally cut you off.
No, it's just interesting to me how, like I said, how this kind of stuff, even if you think about the church and how the priests and like how it's just a common trope, you know, that oh yeah, like they diddle little kids, ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha, it's funny,
Yeah.
right? Like it's out, like
But we know, like, yeah.
it's like one of
Yeah.
those open secrets that everybody knows about, right?
Yeah.
But like we're all too again, like you said, we're like we benefit from like sort of the system that we live by.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't want to do too much to shake that up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like a form of denial too. It's like you don't.
that can't be real, right?
Yeah,
There's no way they're
it's-
sacrificing babies
Yeah,
and drinking their blood.
especially if you were raised like made to think like life is all butterflies and rainbows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
then those people like can't even accept or even think of like, you know what I mean? No, I can't get not vaccinated. The government's telling me to, you know, like I gotta follow these rules and fall in line and everything will be sunshine and rainbows. Yeah.
It's true though, but also yeah, like you said, they like attached to the oh like yeah, well that's the reason. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
or like or even like something else, like because like in my mind, like I think kind of same what you were saying, Jonesy, is like so much information out there, and like even some of it to be like no, like that is true, or like that did happen, and like people like deny it still, or like you know,
It's not even that, like a lot of the times it's just like, okay, so now what?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Nothing ever happens. It's like, but it's like, it seems as though certain like, I don't know, people higher up there can like pinpoint the things that the rest of us like focus on.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Right.
and yeah, like these things can happen, like the Epstein thing, yada yada yada, like 9/11, like there's all kinds of fucking questions about that. There's just all kinds of things, like I said, back to the church and all that kind of shit, right? It's like all this shit happens and it becomes like, you know, taboo, like, oh, you can't talk about that, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But then we just like, we're so easy to get people to go along with
The
it's like,
narrative.
oh, yeah, exactly. You just got
Yeah.
you got to go to work. You got to like vote and
Yeah.
like pay your taxes
Yeah.
and fucking do all this shit. Even though you know deep down, all of us know that that's all bullshit and like taxes is literally theft and
Yeah.
like they're
Yeah.
stealing your money
Yeah.
and they're defund. Like if you think about it, like to have a government that focuses on like, okay, we want a really well educated population that is extremely healthy, that populates well. You know what I mean? But it's like you can like evidentially see the exact opposite of that.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, almost playing out, right? And it's like they're defunding education, they're taking away hospitals, they're, you know, it's like they're funding wars, and
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah,
all know
man.
that this is bullshit. Why
Yeah,
the fuck do
nothing
we all
makes
like play
sense.
this game?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's strange to me that I don't know. Like again, it's like one of those things we all benefit from, sort of the status quo and the system that's been set up in front of us.
Yeah.
We're all born into it,
yeah.
right? Like it's not new for any of us. We were literally born into this thing,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody, even the people that are up there, you know, know how to do anything differently. So it's like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
all just
right.
fucking running the same mouse wheel,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I hope this changes.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
nobody has any idea what to do next.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. Well, not even too. I find like voting kind of dumb too.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
It's just like you said, like find out what to do next type thing. It's like, oh yeah, like I don't like the way this is going. Like I'm gonna vote. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, like even if you win, you're like, eventually you're like, I don't like this. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You're like, oh, there's this and this and this, and you're like, okay, well then then what? You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Then like you said, then you're again like, now what? Like.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw a thing a long time ago when they were like a long time ago, gas prices were up and shit. Like this is probably like when Facebook first came out type thing. And and they were saying like to like on this day, like don't buy any gas or like whatever. Blah blah.
Oh
blah,
yeah,
blah,
right.
right?
yeah,
And it's like, well, no, it doesn't really work because you're gonna buy it tomorrow and the next and the day before, like whatever. Right?
yeah,
But then the other thing is, I saw a post where it was like they referenced that where like, remember if someone told everyone not to buy any gas on a certain day? They're like, we should just stop paying taxes for a year.
yeah. For real.
I was like, yeah, everyone should just get together and not pay taxes
Yeah,
for a year.
man.
But it's like
And
it all
that's a
comes
fact,
off your
man,
shit
like-
anyways. So like it's
Yeah.
automatic. But still, I guess they wouldn't take it if they weren't paying the taxes too. Then you know,
Yeah,
like, fuck
yeah,
that.
right. That's
Oh.
it, man. It would take it takes a revolution like that, you know, a whole.
And it would. You're right. And we often talked about this like back in the day when we were talking about this kind of stuff. And it's like, how do you picture like sort of this quote unquote revolution happening? And it always ends up being a violent one, because there's
Yeah.
no way that the powers that be are going to be like, you know what, the rest of society and everyone, you know, we're been devaluing your dollar and stealing your purchasing power and making everything harder and harder for the last like 100 years for you guys. But you know what? We're gonna stop that now. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
We're
right.
sorry. You know, here's all your wealth back and all your money, right, and all your land and all your, you know, That's not gonna happen, right? So the only way to fucking have that happen is to take it back, right? So
Yeah.
and then the only way to have that happen is to convince the vast majority of people to sort of go
Stand up.
along with an idea
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And again, we're all too comfortable with our status quo at
For
the
sure,
moment.
yeah.
And we're all divided with the different parties too. Like, well, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, what if we all do this? It's like, well, no, that's too liberal. Like, what if we
Yeah.
do this? Like, oh, that's too. Everyone's like, oh, like,
Yeah. Creates a
And that's
divide.
the game, though, right? Is
and-
to constantly keep us bickering with each other while they get away with all the fucking
Yeah,
bullshit in the
yeah.
background.
yeah, like you
Called
said,
the
it's just
rat
almost like
race.
it's just like, it's easier if we just fucking keep
Yeah.
going like that.
For sure, man.
That's defeatist, man.
Yeah.
But I guess I haven't done anything. So I actually saw a picture of Che Guevara the other day, and and there was maybe like a piece about. Oh no, it was actually in the trivia thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
And anyways, regardless, I saw him and I thought in my head, I'm like, man, imagine that. Like, he correct me if I'm wrong though. Did he not lead a revolution?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like, man, like to be that, and like everyone looks back on like, yeah, man, you like saved us and shit. Like my uncle had a Che Guevara t-shirt and he was in Cuba or whatever. And
Doesn't Tyson have the Che Guevara
he-
tattoo on his?
maybe, yeah. Oh, maybe
Yeah,
that might
yeah.
even been what it was. But
Sure it is.
either way, the lady who cleaned the room, she like cleaned the room and she took his like Che Guevara t-shirt and like hung it up on the chair and stuff, like all
Oh,
nice
yeah.
and shit. But I just think of that, like imagine being that guy, like sure, like I assume he's probably dead now, but like
Yeah, he was a terrorist.
but, like,
to a lot of
imagine-
people, right? Like,
true, yeah. But I just like imagine like there's a whole bunch of people like, oh, the guy saved us from this thing and like
Yeah.
oh whatever. But then I thought, you know what, man? Not that I'm about to lead that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what we need here is like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Maybe not quite as like dramatic, but like you said, it always comes down to violence.
Yeah.
generally,
exactly right.
I mean that's for
It's
sure.
like, oh, let's talk it out. No,
French
no, we're arguing.
Revolution,
No, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
any
no, we're-
revolution,
yeah.
any time that any sort of like power, has succumbed to the people, it's definitely not voluntary.
Yeah. Right.
Right? It's always
fun random fact. Napoleon Dynamite or no,
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Bonaparte, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He was part of the French. Yeah. So
Yeah. The leader.
So, and I only say that because that's why it relates.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have told the story anyways. But I was actually, whenever I broke my foot, I was sitting in the hospital,
Yeah.
and they have like TVs that like change and say different things all the time,
Yeah.
and then it'll show like it shows like commercials or something. Then it's showing like, oh, like yeah, it's up to a 3-hour wait or like I don't know whatever, right? And then it's like, oh, this and that, and then it's like fun fact, and it's like like triage.
Yeah.
So like I actually didn't know this until I read this, but like triage is to like say we all walk in there or whatever, and like
Yeah.
like I'm shot, like you have a cold, or like whatever, and then
Yeah.
like you like fucking sprained your ankle or something, so they like assess us all and like, well, this guy's got to fucking he's got to do something first, right?
Yeah,
And then it's
he's
like, oh, like
priority,
you, and
yeah.
then you, or like whatever, right? And so that's what the triage thing is for. So like you could come in, like I've come in with my broken foot, right? I could be there for 4 hours, but then some guy comes in with a fucking bullet wound, like he's going ahead of fucking everybody,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like so I guess it wasn't just Napoleon, him and like his partner and this other dude, they named him.
Yeah.
He's a nobody to me. I don't know. but they I guess made it together. This guy brought the idea to him and they like implemented it in the army because there was so many people just fucking dying and shit. And they were waiting for other people to get like, like stitched up or like whatever.
Yeah. Right.
And so they made this thing and it was like it's a French word, I guess. Triage.
Yeah, triage system.
And that's basically how the Red Cross started, right? Like we
Yeah.
just learned that in like our
Oh yeah?
First
fucking
aid,
first
yeah.
aid classes. Like they were, there was a war going on and there was a bunch of dying and wounded people that needed to be treated.
Yeah.
And I think I forget the story of it, but basically he's like,
He's a Swiss man
right,
who came up with that idea to
Swiss
use
Red
to-
Cross.
Yeah, to use the symbol
there's a
of
white cross. The Swiss is a red background with a white cross.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he pitched that, and then I think there was something of like, well, it's a Swiss flag, and then they were like, well, swap the colors, but it was a symbol to wear on a battlefield to not get shot.
So you're neutral, and like
Yeah.
there's like almost an agreement to say, okay, we'll treat
Yeah.
both sides. We don't
yeah,
pick sides.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
whoever's injured and needs,
Oh,
and needs
shit.
assistance.
Yeah.
It's
will
like the
fucking help
drummers and
everybody.
stuff.
Yeah,
They just drummed and drummed and
yeah,
drummed.
yeah. Back
And
in the
get
day,
shot.
like, dudes holding flagpoles, like running into battle. Man, I would not want to be that guy.
Yeah, imagine that fighting wars back in the day, just like a fucking wild like group of people just
Running at each other.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy,
there's like
bro.
no accuracy
Yeah.
too. Like so.
like, you're guaranteed to fucking.
Well, yeah.
I'd be like, here I go. This is
yeah,
it.
the front lines, right? For sure,
I'd
man.
be hiding in the back somewhere.
Crazy.
Nothing, man. Well,
But yeah, man.
So, we've been going for basically an hour here,
Yeah.
and obviously our guest Ashcon Betts
that's
Yeah.
has not graced us
Hasn't-
with his presence.
Yeah.
So you know more than I, like just for people that were maybe here or wanted to know anything about this guy whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
He was a sports bettor. Fill me
okay.
in on this guy.
Yeah.
So, I think what caught my attention was the flashy, lavish lifestyle. No, he's got like there's always
from Ottawa?
Yeah, so there's all these pictures and stuff, him with like nice cars and stuff, and like houses and all this shit and whatever. But if you look at his profile, Ashkon Betts, ASHKON Betts on Instagram, it says that he's profited over $700,000, and he has like a 90.8% win rate.
Which is wild, right?
It's
Yeah.
insane, like, and he's like, so then he'll post all this stuff, right? Like he'll post like, okay, like the other day he bet like $4,500 or something. He won like 70, or
That's
not,
what
no,
I see
not
too,
70,
like, the
sorry, like
bets aren't
7,000
like
something.
$100 here, fucking, they're like
Yeah, yeah.
10K bets or like,
And
Yeah.
the only reason I feel comfortable saying that information because it's literally on his Instagram and shit.
I've
Yeah.
seen that.
But like, and I guess he's like, I don't know if he like, because originally when I saw it, I thought like, I think this guy's like one of those guys that just offers a fucking like a course or something, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'd be interested to find
But
out
he
if he
puts
like
his
came
information
from money
out
or
there.
if he got the money through this.
that's what I was kind of wondering too.
Yeah, I don't know. All I've seen is like there's a poster too that's like about, sports betting changed my life or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could start small, but like I don't know. Obviously, it started somewhere where I don't even know why I'm speaking right now because it could have started super little bets.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But obviously, like it would have taken
You see him
a
coming
big
up.
bet to really
find out.
blow it up. But
Yeah.
and you should go to his page and see some of the bets. I was telling you about the one, then I jumped back
Yeah.
on, but bet like 2 bands on a UFC fight
Yeah.
and ended up winning like 300,000 or something. I think
Oh.
it's
There's no way. There's no way.
or maybe it was
the
just
odds on
maybe
that,
maybe
like-
it was 3,000. Sorry,
Yeah.
let me
Maybe
look.
30 or
Let me look.
something,
I
don't know.
gotta
But,
look. I remember staring at it and being like,
But yeah, like I'm pretty sure he puts the information out. Like you can like ask him and shit. Like
Yeah.
I see he'll post like screenshots of conversations or people like, oh thanks, like whatever. And again, like you can fake that shit.
Yeah.
But then,
I've
like,
seen
what's
a lot of
the,
them, it's
like,
like
point
it's like
or, like,
bet like
what's-
10K paid 15K, right? So
Yeah.
does that like? So are you? You're obviously then up 5K.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
you're up
what does that
an extra
say to you?
15K on top of the 10.
326,000. Oh,
Yeah.
but he bet 200,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
bet 200,000.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's no way you're betting 2K and winning that much. Like there's the odds on that would be ridiculous.
It's 200,000.
Yeah, he
Right.
bet
But it's
200,000 and won.
326,000.
Yeah, and was
So
paid
it's
out.
only
So you won 126,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
because it's
Which is not fucking anything to turn your nose up at. Let me get me like.
Oh yeah, I know,
right?
I know,
when
but
you're,
it's
when you're risking 200K to win 126, like
right. I get
that's
what you're
fucking
saying.
risky, bro.
Yeah.
Like
See,
that's
what's
not
the-
like
Yeah, there's like odds and shit. I guess like 3. I don't know. That might have been like this.
yeah, it's one. So I don't know.
It's a
how it works.
UFC
It's like
fight too,
100
right?
and-
So it's like one or the other.
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
if you got 200 grand to put down, then fucking
But see, but that would probably be but that's it too. Is like so then like it'll show you like the odds before you bet, right?
Yeah.
So then, like, if something's more of a guarantee, it'll be, I believe, plus
Yes,
a
that's
number.
right. Yeah.
So then, like, if it's plus 150, I think, then whenever you bet 100, you get 150.
So you win 50
So you win
bucks.
$50. Yeah. So, but the reason why it's set like that is because it's like it's favored that way, right?
Yeah.
So then, like, he's
You're
betting
likely
on
to
this
win.
one's one. It says 1.6 something, but it'd be plus 160 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if we bet 100, he gets 160.
Right.
So basically, that's what happened in that bet. So like the thing is it's because it's like, well, we're not going to pay you like 4 times the amount because it's likely to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if you did it the other way, then you get like
You
Yeah.
get
the
like
fucking
you
whatever. I
reap
don't
the
know. Yeah.
the reward. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Silly,
Like
man.
obviously,
to put down 200K on a fucking bet is like
Yeah.
that's.
Oh, for
But
sure.
that's where you-
I-
that's
you gotta
where you
have
put
some
the-
fucking balls.
yeah,
or
for
just
sure.
totally numbness to money.
Yeah. I wouldn't put that large of a bet anywhere else though, other than like a 50-50 chance, you know, like with hockey or like football, you know what
50 chance, man. That's fucking risky.
Unless
as
you're just
fuck.
like
I
it
don't
is,
know.
but like think of the odds of every other stat that like you're not going to bet $200,000 on a quarterback to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'd rather my odds be a little 50-50 is probably the closest you'll ever get in sports betting.
Sure.
Well, I
It's
guess
like-
that's I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a gambler in sports. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Like I'm more of a poker player and just like have
Right.
like, bankroll management.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, when I see throwing $200,000 down on a bet, like you either got to have enough of a bankroll that is insignificant, or you got to be fucking damn sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
You're gonna come out on top. And I say like I don't know.
Maybe
how-
that's the game, you know? Maybe it's like maybe his story is doing that, hitting big and then losing large and then
That's
hitting
it,
big,
right? Like
you know?
only hear about the winners. You only hear
Yeah,
about
that
the
was
losers.
some of my questions. I was like, you know, like
What's your biggest
how's the
loser?
journey? That was in there.
'Cause
What's
that-
your
Don't tell
biggest?
me you
What's
don't
your-
have any, right?
Yeah,
Like, so you can tell me your 90% win rate or whatever, but like
you've lost money before.
according to who?
yeah.
According to you, sure. But like I know how it is, man. Like fucking play the stock market for a little bit, you play a little bit of poker, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think his
like-
thing is basketball from what I've seen on his page. So I mean, if you really know, I guess what's going on, you might have an advantage there, right?
Well,
But,
from as far as I'm aware, like again, traders like 90% of traders lose money, 90% of gamblers lose money.
Yeah.
Like it's a very tiny percentage of people that do this that actually come out on top.
But see,
Yeah.
that's why I say though. I was suspicious that he was trying to sell something, right? Because he's posting like conversations. I'm like, I could just make a conversation with myself and be like, oh look, yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
you want me
right.
money, you know? Screenshot something from some betting site or whatever,
Yeah.
and then like do that, right? But like, it doesn't seem like he's fucking selling anything. Like he's not like
Well,
trying.
he's
to...
not here to defend himself. So
No, that's true,
As far as
yeah.
I'm aware, you know what I mean.
Here's
But that's kind of what I was gonna get on to. Is like, you know, like what, like, you know, like is it all real? You know, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like it's like you question it, right? You're like, hey, well, because I could do that, but then I'm like, but then how like he's like I said, he's not selling anything. It's like if he did, you go to a link and it's like, okay, yeah, he's has some kind of program. All right, fuck, he's just like,
He's just selling a thing, right?
yeah, you know, he like got somebody had a bunch of cash and like he flaunted it
Right,
in front of
right.
their porch or like whatever,
Yeah.
and then like everywhere he goes, like, hey, can I get a picture? You know, like whatever. In front of your car, can I pretend I'm driving your car?
Yeah.
So like yeah, it can be like that, but then it's like, man, like what is he selling, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe that's the trick, is it's not like open like that. It's like, hey man, like yeah, I see you're getting all these other people money, like help me, like I will help you for, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So he also
right?
does other shit as well as this gambling stuff.
Yeah,
Like, he
he-
does like podcasts or
It
like
looks like he
content
does a
and stuff like-
podcast, and the just today or yesterday he posted a thing saying he's back on YouTube, so I guess he does some kind of content there as well.
Yeah.
Right
I
on.
saw him breaking down some of his like
Yeah. little-
picks and stuff like that, and like
yeah.
Well, fuck, bro. We missed out.
Yeah.
yeah,
We
man.
wanted to come and fucking chat it up.
Hopefully we can reschedule another time, but we don't play that game too hard.
Yeah. But no, that's it too. I want to see if he like gambles in the casino and shit too, or just like on
Yeah, right.
sports
Just
at
the
home,
sports.
like,
Yeah.
in the
Maybe some
pool.
horse racing.
Horse racing.
Yeah, shit.
That's so weird, man.
Yeah.
Well, if I tell him, I'd like, if fuck, man, I'm like, I got $4,000 cash right now. Fucking tell me what I can put it down on.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now I know the biggest thing right now is the NCAA basketball tournament,
Oh yeah, March
March
Madness.
Madness or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And again, like that's probably where you would bet bigger money because it's matchup for matchup, and there's like rankings. You know, I guess anybody could win. There's a lot of underdogs. I guess in that tournament. I used to follow it, and yeah, like more times than not, like an underseed would beat a top rank or whatever in the tournament. Super exciting, but yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't know where to start with sport betting myself, but
Me either. It seems it's out of my control, right? Like I said, I'm gonna gamble. It's gonna be something that I have a little bit of, and I guess there is strategy to it. Don't get me wrong. Like there has to be.
yeah,
But
you got to
honestly,
be
something that
knowledgeable of what you're watching,
It's
right?
something I'm unaware of. I don't
Yeah.
follow sports whatsoever, so fucking I'm the last person to be betting on sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, something that I can read the room, like have a little bit of control
Yeah,
over,
yeah, yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
take it like, oh, I know that player always does that, so yeah, I'll make that bet. It's a guarantee. Yeah, he
Right.
shows up, rolls his ankle or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like that's the day. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he would have done it for
Yeah.
sure, but like just that day, like,
Yeah, for sure.
No.
I felt that sting in my F1 fantasy actually. Just the other week, I made a couple changes in my team, and you're only allowed 2 changes a week or whatever for like without costing you points. I made 3, so I was deducted 10 points already. And the fucking driver I chose to go with, it was like the same thing. Like this guy, usually does good out on the first lap.
oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man. So like to make matters worse,
and it was like a last minute.
yeah,
decision.
so I took that 10-point deduction to put him in my lineup just to lose more points. Yeah, shit. So that stings. I know that stings. But
Real.
I'm coming for it, man. End of the season, I'll be there. Yeah,
End of the season.
yeah, shit.
Shit. That must be long.
Yeah, well,
Every week you got to do the. Well, I mean, I guess it's fun. I guess you watch it and shit too.
yeah,
but
for
it's like,
sure. But you're right, though. There's some weeks where
Just give me the fucking money.
Yeah. Some weeks I'm like, there's been weeks where like I forgot to get my picks in on time or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and because like they don't race every weekend, so then sometimes you just forget that it's like, oh, it wasn't last week, but it's this week, and then sometimes they do what's called a sprint race. So qualifying is after the first practice instead of the third.
Okay.
So it's like a day earlier. You have to have your picks in.
oh yeah.
So a couple times I forgot to, do that because of the early day. But yeah, anyway, try to stay on top of it. That's about as far as I get with sport betting. I pay to enter, and then it's not like in every race I'm betting money or whatever. But
Yeah.
I put my money on fucking Red Bull every time, though.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Fucking right. They well, the drinks are good. And I see them in
Yeah.
every sport. So
Yeah.
they must be pretty good.
Yeah, extreme sport.
So, anyways,
But
boys.
yeah, man. That was 245.
245, man.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot. We're almost at quarter of a kilo, man. Shit, that's crazy
Yeah. That's what's up.
though. You guys want to say anything? Tell the people something?
Shit. Well, you know what? If you want to go far, or if you want to go, shit,
He's gonna pull it up, man.
gonna pull it up. I thought I knew that one off the top of my head. What am I looking for? I'm gonna leave you guys with something for your head dome. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Ooh.
That's real.
Shit, man, I swear to God, me making that noise stopped me from crying.
Speaking of going together, if you're watching this, head on over to our Kick
Yeah.
stream. We're not only streaming on YouTube, but also streaming on Kick. So go give us a follow or subscribe over there, and
That's what's up.
let's build our community.
Let's go.
Freaking I forgot about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
sure if we did it this time or not, but
We
yeah.
did. We've been on Kick this whole
Friggin'
time.
nice.
So yeah, we've been doing a double stream to YouTube and Kick at the same time.
So what
You
up
know,
to
we're
everybody
trying
on
to-
Kick?
Trying to
If you're
upgrade
there.
our little situation here. So yeah, go
Yeah.
on.
Nice.
If you have Kick, go look for us. 4G Audio Podcast, I would assume,
That's it.
and that's where we are. Any
Yeah,
motherfucking
baby.
way. Hopefully the Easter bunnies get to you or whatever, all that shit.
Yeah.
Don't eat too much chocolate because your belly will hurt.
Especially for before bed.
And 4-day weekend, or is that just for the kids?
Well, it's for the adults too, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Some adults, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my household it is.
Yeah.
Sick, cool. Well, appreciate you boys.
You too, my brother.
See you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir.
I'm Stylez the Prophet.
I'm B Show.
And I'm Jonesy.
Together with the Basement Weirdos, this is the 4G Audio Podcast, your grandma's favorite podcast.
Yeah.
Peace, everybody.
Catch y'all in the next one.
Peace.